All right, we got this. Welcome to the Schnitzer Leaders and Builders Call. You're here because you're a leader and a builder. All right, let's get into it. We've got I love this page. This is awesome. We're actually going to have to squeeze some new faces on this, which I'm very excited about in the next couple weeks. But this is our leadership team, guys, just to kind of show you who's who, how the lineage of the Schnitzer agency is kind of laid out. Um, but really, like a lot of new people come on these calls and they're like, "Who the heck is Scott? I just interviewed with Venus." Okay, so this is a good map for you guys of the Schnitzer Master Agency, and we've got the Diaz agency within that, the Mitra agency, and the Granzard agency. Soon to be a couple more agencies breaking out, but here's all of our key leaders and team leaders as well. If you don't know what these titles mean, go to your levels of leadership. All right, go to your levels of leadership. We have comp level promotions. That's the one with all the percentage points on there. And we've got levels of leadership. Okay. We've got two different ways that you can promote yourself within this business. I think that they communicate with each other very, very well. The way that these two promotion guidelines go together, it's kind of like a musical. They just play, they're just playing together. Um, but we've got team leaders and key leaders working on becoming AOs, and guys, I just love working with this group of people, so I like to show their pictures every week. That's it. We talk about four pillars since this is a leaders and builders call. Let's talk about the stuff that's important. Okay, real talk. This is what it takes to build a business here, right? This is the brass tacks of it. We talk a lot about 5K weeks. We celebrate 5K production weeks because that's what it takes to fuel your business. All right. And that doesn't happen right away for everybody. But if you want to pick up steam, pour back into your business, and start scaling this thing, 5K weeks are super important. Okay. So as an agency owner, when I was at like the 95 to 115% contract level, this was a daily thought for me. How can I get to my 5 to 10K this week? How can I bring in people into my business? And it was things were starting to get really serious, right? And I knew when the people that I brought in, I was making anywhere from a 15 to 20% override off of their business, which was pretty cool too. Okay. So I was always focused on two different buckets. I'll show you guys here that on the next slide. But the two buckets for me were, can I do 5K this week? Can I bring 5 new people into my business? All right. I wasn't running ads when this whole thing started. I wasn't posting on LinkedIn or ZipRecruiter or Craigslist. I was just hustling. Okay. I was just telling people that I thought would be good at this about the opportunity. And then things got more sophisticated as it went on. Getting 5 new, agents a week got a little bit easier as I poured more investment into it. So those are the two buckets for me in my mind. Am I filling my schedule with serving people? All right. Am I giving this opportunity to someone? Am I helping families with life insurance coverage? And you guys know Danny Young always says the sin of the desert is telling someone that needs this or not telling someone that needs this about this business. All right. We all know a few people who could crush it here. So personal development, keeping that at the forefront for you guys. That's pillar number 3, learning through books and podcasts, attending corporate events. We've got conference coming up in August. Everyone's invited. Let's hang out. And then attending these calls. You guys are already here, but be on camera, be taking notes, go all in on this call. I'm not going to say a bunch of things that are going to change your business, but I might say one thing. All right. So be all in while you're here. Otherwise, why be here? Right? You guys could go, you can go get 40 or 50 dials in. Right? But be in, be all in, be learning from the calls, be associating in the chat. That's why I always try to like pin people where they're at. I don't think we have very many people in Wisconsin, but I know we got a bunch in Texas, bunch in Georgia, bunch in Florida. All right. But yeah, be present where you're at. Agency development, what that looks like is training and building relationships, training in groups, building relationships individually, working with people who work. Um, we had a brand new agent on Friday who said, "Hey, who wants to role play with me? I want to start doing this." 5 or 6 people teamed up this morning, started role playing with each other. We've got Sarah Neal has role play groups that she hosts with agents outside of this call. And guys, just like associate with people that are working, role play with them, practice on your scripts, run ideas by them, ask questions as you're going through difficulties. I remember when I was new, I was just like, dude, I keep getting the same objection every single time. How do I get through this? Call somebody that has done it before and associate. Work with people who are working. So those are the 4 pillars. And you got the 2 buckets, 20 appointments a week, 20 interviews a week. All right. That will feed you enough to grow $100,000 agency if you do this for a year straight. Just give it a year. Just say, hey, Symmetry, I'm going to give you a year. You set 20 appointments a week, you're gonna write 5K weeks once you do it enough times. You're probably even gonna start writing 10K weeks off 20 appointments a week. That's how things go when you increase your skill set, when you increase your competency. When I was new, 20 appointments used to yield me three, four, $5,000. That was like level one competency here. It was a grind. Okay. Now if I set 20 appointments, I'm writing 10 to 15K on 20 appointments. Okay. So your skill set's going to go up. So is your income. If you're bringing in 20 interviews a week, maybe 15 of them show up. Maybe 14 of them show up. Maybe you hire five of those, right? If you do that for a year, you're going to build a $100,000 agency here. Okay. Don't take my word for it. Casey Watkins mapped that out for us. All right. That was the game plan. He gave this to me 2 years ago when we were at a leadership conference in North Carolina. And I said, I'm going to go do that. Right? I'm just going to go do that. See where we land. Okay. So 2 buckets here, be pouring into both of them. We've got some submit happening this month. 146,000 for the agency. That's all of you guys. Everyone on this call played into that who wrote an app. We're at 146 already for the month on 120 apps. 46 people have written business, and we've got 67 on this call. All right, so we've got some opportunity. 46 of y'all have written business. 11 of you wrote your first app. Congratulations. We got a little golf clap for you going down today. First app is always one that you'll remember. Okay, I remember mine. First app, 2 days later, I got a $700 deposit, and I was like, dang, I'm going to fire my boss. I worked in a family business though, so it took me about a year to get out of that job. But I was like, man, I'm gonna fire my boss. I've just made 700 bucks. It took me 45 minutes. This is pretty cool. I can see myself doing that a couple times a week and really enjoying it. That's literally my thought process. I was in my dad's office at his dealership when I was writing this application for a client, feeling like I was answering all the wrong questions and that I was eventually going to go to jail for it because I just got my license. It was my first application and everything was really weird, right? They're asking questions about like at the very end of the application, you guys know how it goes through like the agent questions and stuff. And I'm like, oh God, if I answer the wrong one, I could end my career right here. But it went through, it got approved, 700 bucks in my bank account 2 days later. And I really started having some faith in myself. Like I can see myself doing this. I can see myself in an office at home. I can see myself hanging out with my wife throughout the day, building this with my family. And it only took one app to do that for me. Okay, because before then I had my skepticism. I got recruited into this business by friends and they were like doing really well here. So I was like, okay, it works for you guys, but does it work for everyone else? Okay. So it just took one app. So if you wrote your first app, congratulations. You just gave yourself a proof statement. And I say this a lot, but just stack proof statements on top of each other. That's how you stay in the game. Helping out a family today could change the game for you. Like going and serving someone today could change the game for you. So if you're stagnant right now or you're feeling like this may not work out for you, go serve someone today. That is the name of the game. Go serve somebody. Great job for the base shops for the month. We've got some work to do this month, but we're off to a good start. This is my favorite slide. We go through future road to ownership. So everyone on this slide, they're already owners. This stays in their family forever. But the Granzer base shop, the Mitru base shop, Diaz base shop, no one could ever take that away from them. They own it forever. They can pass it on to their kids. They can will it. They can sell their business someday and exit. That's always a possibility. They're owners. They can do what they want with it. These folks want to be owners, and they're going to be. I believe every person on this screen has what it takes. I love seeing this slide. So we got Team Salatus so far. This is for the month. Okay, so 2 out of the 5 weeks. He's at 2375 with 4 apps. Team Tom Play. Okay, they're from the South, so you can't say it template. It's Tom Play. All right, you guys got to get the pronunciation right. Team Bradford's 5683, 4 apps, 3 riders, 1 new rider. Team Lowry coming in 5697, 4 apps, 3 riders, 2 new. That's awesome. Team Greenwood. Great job, Team Lowry, by the way. This is cool to see you guys up here. I think you've been on there once, but this is going to be consistent for you now, and I'm excited for you. So 3 riders, 2 new riders, really strong work for your second time up here on this board. Team Greenwood, 6,000, 4 apps, 3 riders. Team Sevelier, 7,000, 7 apps, 2 riders, 1 new rider. Great job, Rod. Team Hadley coming in so far for the month with 12,987, 15 apps, 4 riders, 1 new rider. And Team Smith, 14,674, 19 apps, 7 riders, 2 new. Getting those new riders. We've got a tie for 2 with multiple agencies here, multiple future AOs. Team Goldsmith, 17,431, 6 apps, 5 riders. And Team Helms taking the charge, 23,000. 28 apps, 6 riders, 2 new riders. I was listening to the Danny Young call this morning and it said Joseph Helms wrote 11 apps last week. That's insane. That's awesome, Joseph. If you don't listen to the Danny Young call, he does it on Sunday nights. I'm already in bed by the time he runs that call. But I listen to it Monday morning during my walk at the gym when I'm getting warmed up. Okay. So great job, Joseph. Guys, what it takes to hit agency owner if you're brand new here, start looking at some of these numbers, okay? As a key leader, because you're going to hit key leader on your way to AO eventually. As a key leader, your focus to get to the next step is I need to issue 30,000 3 months in a row. All right, I need to issue 30,000 3 months in a row, and I need to have 6 total riders. One of them can be me, 4 of them can be direct to me, and one person can be direct to one of those directs. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So 6 total riders. Right. And I'm thinking, all right, we've got obviously Joseph Helms at a $23,000 pace already for the month going into week 3. Okay. Because we're 2 weeks in, right? Yeah. Going into week 3, your agency submit that you're focused on, guys, if this is new for you, we're looking at a submit somewhere around 50,000 just to leave things clear. All right. So Helms well on his way to doing that. Team Goldsmith is pacing. And just keep that the focus. Like I need 6 people and I need to submit about 50K in a month. That's it. Okay. Seems pretty simple, not easy for everyone, right? Got to get your ducks in a row a few months in a row. Love it. That's my favorite page out of all of them. Engage conference is coming up. I keep sending y'all emails about this. It's not spam, I promise. It's not spam. August 13th through 15th, we're all meeting in Denver. We're gonna hang out for a couple days. It's a really good conference, guys. I like I'm remiss to have to like try to sell this every single week when I've already been to 3 of them. And I have to though, because there's some new agents sitting out there that are like, I don't know if the cost is worth it this year. I promise you it'll be worth it. Okay. I'll sell you on this once because I know I never have to again. But if you can get yourself to conference, and if you can even bring like a spouse or a friend with you, you're gonna really thank yourself long term. Okay. I was working in a family business before this. I saw the vision and I saw what this opportunity could give me, but I went to conference and it really cemented things for me. I came home the next day and went full time. Okay, that was back in 2022, September, probably, I don't know when we got back, like the 10th. We got back from a couple days of travel and I was like, all right, I'm all in now. I'm not going back into the office. We're doing this thing. So, and I had my license for a whole year and a half before that. I was just sitting on it, doing the hokey pokey where you put one foot in and then you take it out, right? Venus, you can dance and sing to that one. I'm watching your energy. That was what I was doing with my business, which actually is not profitable. I promise you guys, it's not profitable to do hokey pokey with your business. We do have some part-timers that are really profitable here, but that was not me. I was like an application here or there. It really took me going to conference that year and to go full on, like all the way in on this. And gosh, it's changed my family's life since we got and done that. All right, here's a QR code for a discount. Save yourself $60 on your conference ticket. All you need to do is take a snapshot of this QR code or go to HQ. You can sign up for your conference ticket and then use the code for the base shop that you're a part of. Okay. So that'll save you $60, save yourself some money there. You can use this code as many times as you want to. So if you're bringing your spouse and 2 of your teenage kids with you and you want to get 4 tickets, you can use the discount code 4 different times. There is a pay-as-you-go option at the checkout. So if you want to break that up over the next couple months until conference, you can break up your conference ticket, no problem. And then Wednesday, this is coming up in 2 days. We got Jenny and Sarah going over a corporate overview. This is a way to tell friends and family and prospective agents about the opportunity. They're going to go through a company slideshow where it shows, compensation, way we get leads, how we get paid, what the opportunity looks like short-term versus long-term. They're going to do a really good job showing people about this opportunity. So all you got to do is give them the Zoom link and people can hop in. They can either be on camera, off camera. They can have an earbud in while they're cooking dinner, or they can be on camera and be present. Doesn't really matter to them. But they're going to share this opportunity, and I'm excited for this one. This is the first time Sarah and Jenny are doing this. Jenny, are you ready for this? I can see your face here.
Yes, we're ready.
Cool. That sounds good. I'm pumped for you. This is gonna be a good one. Awesome. Okay, and then I think that's it. Maybe we got one more slide here. Okay, so I always bring up recruiting platform because this is something that you want to prepare for all month long. You don't want to skip this right now. Like if you wait till the end of the month to start thinking about this, it may pass you. To get on the recruiting platform, just to let you guys know what it is, okay? You want to start building, you want to get interviews in your schedule. Kate is a ninja with getting people into recruiting, okay? She's doing really, really well with this. And what she's doing is she's using ZipRecruiter, Craigslist, Indeed, all the platforms that are available to us to get candidates who are qualified. They then fill out a job application, book into our calendars, sit on a first interview, go to a meet and greet, and then they're on our team. Okay. That's kind of like the full scope process. But all you have to worry about if you're a part of this building program is showing up to a first interview with your prospective agent. Okay. All the farming work is done for you. Um, all of the work is done by Kate. She actually does a really good job with this. If anyone wants to give her a shout out in Slack anytime, she's crushing it. Okay, so if you've got a new agent on your team, it's because of this recruiting platform. It's not because of me. It's 100% because of Kate. She's doing great with this. But you guys, we're making this free for y'all. We're making this free. This is a big opportunity. All you got to do is issue 10K in a month, and you can get yourself on our recruiting platform and start taking first interviews. So issue your 10K this month. 5K weeks lead up to a 10K issue for sure. So be focusing on that. It's a good opportunity. We've got virtual office signups. Here's our dialers on deck. So today we had Sarah Neal dialing in the virtual office this morning. I think Adam Coglin got you this time, man. Coglin, right? I was saying it Coughlin. I'm sure that's happened before in the past, but I got you this
Yeah,
time.
it's I've lived with it most of my life. All good, all good. Thank you.
Yeah, it was fun to hear you go back and forth. I even jumped in with you. That was fun. We did the thing. Some guy told me, what did he tell me, Adam? I don't like to swear in front of my team, so
He said BS. We'll keep it at that. Yeah, bull shot.
I got a rough C lead in front of everyone, and then something happened with opt, and the lead went away. It was a train wreck, but we had fun. It was good.
Good time.
Um, we've got a couple live dialers signed up this week. This list will probably fill up. So every morning, Kellen's doing a good job posting who's dialing for the day for you guys. All you got to do is hop in there. You can listen to people dial. You can listen to them run appointments. It's pretty cool. And then if you're a new agent and you're like, I just want people to pour into me and like give me the best pointers possible, you can put your name on this list. We'll hop in there and listen to you, give you feedback, give you pointers on how to get through objections, and it'll be a good learning opportunity if you want to do that. All right, that's it. All right, so every single week, guys, I'm going to jump into a little bit of content here. I'm excited about this one because every time I get a chance to talk about vision, um, it just helps me take a step back from the day to day, right? Because I think we can all agree, like building a business is tough sometimes. Like dealing with the ups and downs and different things is tough. Like especially being a personal producer, I remember, gosh, it's just a roller coaster. And then you start building your team up and experiencing some passive income, and then things feel good, and then it's a roller coaster there again as well, right? That's what building a business looks like. It's not always consistent. It's not always predictable. And you got to really focus on controlling the controllable. So when I take a step back and I start thinking about vision, it helps me get in perspective why we're really here and why we do this. All right. So I would be remiss if I did not go through this every time I get a chance to be in front of you guys, which isn't every week. Okay. Sometimes we'll have guest speakers for 3 weeks in a row. Sometimes I'll go for 2 or 3 weeks in a row. But every time I'm in front of you guys, I'm going to keep the mission super forefront for us. All right. So if you're new here, this may be the first time you're hearing it. If you're not new here, we're going to talk about this all year long. We may talk about this for the next 5 years until we hit our 5 year goal. All right. This is what's important. Our vision here is to help 100 of you become an agency owner and reach financial freedom in the next 5 years. And I'm going to break down that number today because I don't think I've ever broken that down with you guys in this type of setting. All right, I'm going to break that number down. Okay, so 100 families, they achieve financial freedom in the next 5 years. My vision is that we build, equip, and empower agents. And what does that look like when we build? We want to build strong agents. We want to build strong teams. We want to build a strong future for them where everyone has an opportunity to build a lasting legacy. All right, that's one of the things that attracted me most to this business. I knew from what I saw, not just what people told me, but from what I actually saw, that There's some people in this business that put in a good 3, 4, 5 years and they're set free financially for life. I saw that proof just hopping on team calls when I was new. I was sitting in the back room at the dealership watching. Ashley would give me the code to hop on team calls, and I would see people, and they're like, "Yeah, I've been here for 5 years. I've reached a 130 contract, and I've got a 130 underneath me, and now 95% of my passive is fully income, and it'll never go away." And I'm like, that sounds cool. So that's a 3 to 5 year plan. I can get on board with that. Okay. So we want to give everyone that comes onto this team, no matter who you are, what background you're from, we want to give you the opportunity to build something that creates a legacy for your family. Okay. That is first and foremost, we want to build. Second, we want to equip. Okay. So if we're laying that foundation for you and we're like, hey, you can be a part of this, you can go build something for your family too. You can set yourself free in 4 or 5 years. That's for you. Okay. If we're going to do that, we want to equip you. And I believe I share this vision with every leader on our team. They get really passionate about training. They get really passionate about systems. They get really passionate about mentoring. Okay. Those are the things that you want to see in leaders. So as you come up and you start seeing yourself team leader, key leader, I think the real big goal here is like, how many people can I serve? Because the people that I see serving the most to others, they're the ones winning the biggest here. Okay, so when you talk about equipping, how does that fit into our vision? We provide training, mentorship, and systems for success, but we also help agents create the mindset and skill set to win, which I think is 90% of the game. All right. That's why I don't do a lot of tactical calls. There's not, Kate and I are going to do that the next couple weeks because I feel like we owe it to you guys to go through some of the systems and the steps for recruiting. But most of the time, when I come on a team call or when I'm speaking with you one on one, it's all about mindset. I mean, ask Rod. He calls me about application questions every once in a while. What, Rod, how do I respond to that typically? You don't have to unmute. I don't get stuck in the details of policies all the time, guys. I know that that's just one of the steps in the game. You got to figure out production. You're gonna build a business here. You got to figure out production. And that's how I rocked when I was new. I was like, if I want to build something big here, I got to figure out production for myself. So those issues became really small for me really early, right? I knew that there was bigger problems that were going to come, people like big issues. And I didn't see the policy problems as big in my life at that time because I had a really big vision for this. I'm like, man, it's just a chargeback. That's okay. It's all good. They happen. Oh, it's just someone that told me no. It's okay. It happens. Okay, I'm going to build a huge business here. This person that told me no is not going to be a blip on the radar in a couple years from now. Okay, so that's why we talk a lot about mindset. And the third thing to play, to build our vision out, 100 agency owners in the next 5 years, we're going to empower all of you guys. Okay. My goal and my vision for this, and I share this with the leaders on our team, is not that we're the power source for you to do well. Okay. We may be a battery that you plug into for energy, but we're not the power source for you to do well. That's why our third thing, the third part of this is empower. Okay. We want to give leaders the ability to take ownership for their own success. Okay. Our agency is a platform for you guys to achieve something. All right. It would be silly if it was just a platform for those agency owners that I flashed on the slideshow right before we got into this. It would be silly if it was just for them. Okay. The reason why we work so hard, the reason why we pour into this is to give the opportunity to all of y'all. All right. My major vision outside of that is like I leave for a couple days. I get to take some quality time off with my family, and the business still runs. Because I heard this when I was really new from Jim Larson. This was like end of my first year when I heard him speak. He said, if you have a business that can't run without you there, you don't have a business, you have a job. And at that time, I had a job. I was married to this. I couldn't leave for 5 days without my business taking a dip. But every time I started like, hey, here's a new system that we can put in place that's going to take care of like some of the communication. Here's maybe someone that we can hire, but we don't really feel comfortable hiring them. It's a couple dollars extra a month, right? Or a bigger investment. Those decisions became easier when I thought to myself, I've got to be able to replace myself eventually. I've got to create systems that are eventually going to step in when I'm not there. Otherwise, I'm going to have a job forever and not a business. So, guys, again, we build, we equip, and we empower. All right. Super, super important for us. And how do we do that? We have a couple core values here. We do it through honor, growth, grit, and accountability. Okay. Honor by what you do and by what you say. Okay. Honor happens through your actions. It also happens the way that you speak to others. That's a big one for me. Growth is like we're committed to growth always. We're not a losing team. We're actually a pretty competitive team. All right. You guys look at those leaderboards that we go through on Fridays. We're a very competitive team, but we're honored by we're going after honor and we're going after growth. I want to grow with y'all. I want to grow businesses with y'all. A lot of you guys, I want to grow families with you. Okay. It's been really cool to be on second interviews lately. It sounds like everyone just had kids. We got a bunch of new agents with new kids coming into this business or kids that are under the age of 5. And I'm like, cool, dude, our kids are going to grow up together. I've got a 17-month-old and a 2-week-old at home. That's pretty cool. But like, guys, we want to grow together in our business, in our fitness, in our mindset. Okay. So that's why it's one of our core values. The fourth one or the third one's grit because you're going to need it to get through this business. You're going to need it big time. How do you respond when things get really tough? How do you, rhetorical question, no one has to unmute. Okay. How do you respond when things get really tough?
You get tougher.
Yeah, call Giovanna. I just saw in the comments. That's actually a really good game plan. Giovanna can smooth most things out. You pray. I love that answer, Alex. You pray. Okay, call Giovanna, pray. Know that it's going to get tougher. I actually like that answer, Tay, because when you look at problems that come your way and you're like, this is just part of it, how I respond actually matters more. And there's going to be bigger problems coming my way if I don't figure this smaller one out. So I respect that answer a lot. Pray for me, absolutely. This too shall pass. Focus on gratitude. I'm just reading the comments now. You guys can coach me. Focus on gratitude, not the issue at hand. Deadlift, that is a really good answer too. If you got big problems, go lift heavy things. 911 Danny, okay? I did that a lot, Courtney. I did that a ton. There was so many times golf that helps you take your mind off things. I love that. Okay. So the reason why I'm going through grit and it's so important, it's one of our core values is because we all got to have it to be able to win big here. All right. The best leaders solve the biggest problems for the people that they're leading. It gives them the ability to actually serve. I can't serve you if I don't provide any value for you. Okay. And then the last one's accountability. Honor, growth, and grit. It's impossible without accountability because you guys always heard that saying, like, it doesn't matter what you do in public, it's about the work that goes in private. If you're doing this business all wrong behind closed doors and no one's watching, it ain't going nowhere for you. Nowhere fast, at least. Okay. You can get ahead for a season, but our agency demands accountability and we thrive off of it. We actually welcome that here. Okay. A lot of people don't like accountability for a minute, right? They're like, I don't want to be, I don't want other people to know what's going on in my life. I don't know what other people want to know what's going on in my business. Okay. But it's so good. Once you like get past that fear of like, what do other people think? What are they going to say about my business? Once you can like insert accountability into the areas of your business that you need growth in, like maybe for you that's sales, maybe for you that's dialing, getting contacts, setting appointments, running appointments. Like once you can get accountability in there and you start feeling really comfortable around the people you're rolling with, now you're like, okay, cool. Now we're a team. Okay. Now they know my ish. They know what's going on. They know my struggle. I can't get anyone to show up to an appointment. And then there's 20, 30 other people there to help you get people to show up to your appointment, right? People that have done it before. All right. So that's just an example for you guys where I go through the core values because it's important to me. It's what we live by. So going back to the first page, this is kind of where I want to start with y'all since I've never really broken this down, but um, what does it look like to have 100 agency owners in an agency? Okay, because when I first wrote down that goal, it was like I was like, is that too many for 5 years? I started thinking in my head, I was like, is that too many agency owners for 5 years? I think that's a really big number. That might be impossible. And I was like, no, I've already said it. Like I said it in front of a group of leaders that I run with for accountability. I said it in front of 4 or 5 people already. So I was like, I got to stick to this. So maybe I should like write that down and figure out what it's going to take to get there because I don't want one of them to call me out in 2 years from now and be like, hey, where you at with that goal of 100 agency owners? And I'm like, well, 7, 6, right? I wanted to write it down so I can actually conceptualize what does this look like? All right. So I wrote it down. Put a one in the chat if you know who Marshall Wayland is. He's an agency owner here. He runs a decent size agency. Decent size. Okay. He runs the biggest agency at Symmetry. All right. Does anybody know the run rate that Marshall Whalen's on right now? That's the second question. You guys know the run rate? Meaning monthly annual premium volume in his agency. Anybody? 4 million. Yeah, that's close. It's about 5 million. You're just off by a million, Bob. But that's kind of small to him, right? Okay, so they're doing about 5 million a month. Pretty impressive. Just off by a million. Well, yeah, when you're doing like 4 or 5 of them a month, you can miss or hit by a million or so. I'm sure on a 5 week month, they're getting close to 5.5 million. So, so I started looking at that and I'm like, okay, well, this is 5 years for us to hit our goal. We've got some pretty incredible people that are in this with us. Like, let's map this out and see what it actually looks like. So I went back to our leadership page. You guys remember that I showed at the beginning of the slideshow, and I started mapping this out with each person. Like, what would this look like? So, give you an example. All right, if we did 100 agency owners in the next 5 years, when we do that, and each of those agency managers are doing like anywhere from 70 to 75,000 a month in their agencies, that's 7.5 million a month. Okay, Marshall Whalen right now is doing 5 to 5.5 million a month. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to take some work? Absolutely. Do I think I should probably remind myself of this vision every day so it makes me run my feet? Yes, I'm going to do that every single day. And so I started mapping it out and I wrote down the names of all of our team leaders and key leaders. So I had Wilbur on there, I had Joseph, Sarah, Jenny, Sarah Neal, uh, Bob Greenwood, I had on there, Jared, and Sean Banks. And I wrote them down. I was like, all right, let's just do math. Like, what if all of these agents that I just listed got to a 130 and they had like 4 or 5 AOs underneath them? What's in it for them if they do that? So Sean, I can see you on my screen. I'm not going to ask you to unmute, but like, what's in it for you if we can build this thing up to a point where you're a 130 and you have 4 or 5 AOs on your team underneath you? Okay, that's about where I'm at in the business right now, 3 years in. Okay, not quite 130 yet, but we should be in the next 2 months. Okay, got about 4 or 5 AOs on the team. Okay, so what would that look like for you, Sean, if you went and did that in the next couple years? I can talk about income if you'd like to. Okay, it's harder to talk about impact because there's going to be so many awesome stories to tell along the way. All right, that's my favorite part about this. Getting text messages at like 9 p.m. from an agent. Hey, I just had this conversation with my husband. This was crazy. He's going to retire hopefully in the next couple years. We're going to blow this thing up together. Though, like the impact is bigger to me than this number. But Sean, just to let you know what that would look like, you're at 130 with 4 to 5 AOs. That's going to be anywhere from 40 to 60 grand in income for you. Put a thumbs up if you're okay with that. You still here with me, Sean? Sideways thumb? I don't know if Sean is with me. Okay, 40 to 60 grand in income. You're 130 with 4 to 5 AOs. That's a month. Yeah, a month. Thank you for saying that, Wilbur. Okay. So I want to paint this vision. This isn't just for my current leadership team. I actually want a lot more of you involved on this so we can go run after it together. Because put a two in the comments is 40 to 60 grand in passive income would change your life right now. Change mine. 3 year plan, guys. Changed mine. Okay. And we're going way further. We've got a lot of families to impact. There's some new people I just brought on the last couple of weeks. I want to travel with their families and grow massive businesses with their families. I keep meeting more good people that I want to run after this business with. So it ain't stopping. Okay. For those that you are currently building, it ain't stopping. We've got a lot of work to do. Okay. For those of you that are new, welcome. This agency is going somewhere and you can be a part of it. Okay. So if every single one of those agents that I listed, from Wilbur to Joseph to Sarah, Jenny, Sarah, Bob, Jared, and Sean, all of you guys are 130s making 40 to 60 grand a month. Okay, well, what does that look like for your agency owners? Bob Granzard, I can't see you on the screen, but I'm sure you're on this call. So Bob, you're 130 now. You've got 3 to 4 130s on your team. Okay, does that mean you stop making money off of those 130s? They matched your contract level, so you just stopped making money on them, right?
Heck
Put in the
no.
chat if that's true, guys. Is that true? I just They reached me? Okay, not true, Hadley says. Okay, let me explain this to you. So when you become a 130, you now participate in company equity. You're now an equity partner. Per person on your team, you're going to make anywhere from $8,000 to $14,000 per 130 on your team in passive income that will not go away ever. Okay? That's pretty cool. So how many 130s do you need to walk away from this forever? Maybe write that down on a piece of paper next to you. I need four or five. I mean, I ain't gonna get greedy, okay? Four or five. But I know we have so many more on this screen. Like even people that are here right now, I know that we have more than four or five 130s on this screen. That's what gets me fired up. All right. But how many do you need, Tate? Tate, you're brand new. You don't have to unmute again. I'm rolling here, but Tate, you're brand new. How many 130s do you need to walk away from this forever and spend life how you want to spend it? All right. I don't ever see myself retiring, but I know it's about 4 to 5 130s on my team, and I'm good. 75 grand passive income. I could pour into my ministry more. I can go coach more on the wrestling team that I coach. I can go travel more with my family. They're never going to ask me how much it costs. We're just going to book it. Okay. I could do all those things. Let's go, man. 4 to 5 130s. Okay. Well, what would that look like for Bob Granzer? In his base shop, he's going to be making about 15 to 25 grand, somewhere in there. Okay. Because his base shop is always pretty healthy. You guys saw the numbers on the leaderboard there, what they're at 46 grand already the second week of the month or somewhere near there. Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So 15 to 25 grand, depending on how healthy his team is that he's currently building. Outside of that, he also has 3 to 4 130s. Okay. So that means that he's making anywhere, let's do the math. 12 grand per 130. 12 times 4, 48 plus, let's go on the low side of 20K for the base shop. And then from his master agency, somewhere around 30 grand. Okay, so he's making about 98,000. 98,000 a month. 3 to 4 130s with a base shop.
Scott, can you repeat that again?
So 3 to 4 130s, depending on the size of the base shop, he's going to make anywhere from 15 to 25 grand. Outside of that, from his master, he's going to make somewhere between 10 and 15K. Giovanna, there's a lot of new folks on the team, so when I go through base shop and master and 130, a lot of this is going over the head of the people that are listening. But for those of you who know levels of leadership, okay, and those of you who know what the comp structure looks like, having a base shop, having a master agency, and having a couple 130 legs, it looks about like what Jamie Susie's agency looked like a year and a half ago when she broke 100K for her first time. She'd been here for 3.5 years, broke 100K a month for the first time. Okay, so that's pretty much what it looks like. All right, so Bob Granzer, I think you'd be pretty happy making somewhere between 80 and 95 grand a month passive. It's pretty good. Jamie did it in 3.5 years. Jim Larson will do it pretty quick. Why not us? Okay. There's several people here that can't even imagine making that type of income, but I promise you, if you can start thinking bigger, you can start moving bigger and faster. Okay. So let's just say like Bob and Javon and Venus are agency owners right now. They have 3 to 4 AOs. Everyone that I just talked about on the team leader and key leader slide had 5 AOs on their team in their 130s now. That puts us at about 55 or 60 agency owners. So we have a lot of room outside of that to bring new folks in. Okay. My wife and I hit agency owner in 7 months. There's other people here who it took a year and a half. You can put a timeline on it when you get really serious. Okay. But everyone's on their own journey. So whether that takes you 7 months or you do it in 2 years, like we've got a 5-year plan right now. I'm going to be here to help you. We've got a 5-year plan, 100 agency owners. Okay. When I start breaking it down like this and I start visualizing goals, this is where I actually like write them down and map them out. Okay. My goals feel a lot smaller when I do this, a lot more bite-sized, a lot more attainable. I'll be honest, like first time I wrote this down, I was like, oh, that's going to be pretty hard. Okay. And now I'm feeling like I should go, like maybe we should expand our vision a little bit. Maybe we should expand our vision. Maybe we could actually do more than that. Things are just getting easier with the technology that we have. We're hiring some really cool people. Why not think bigger? Okay, so who's going to come take a stake in that 7.5 million a month? And how much are you going to take? All right. Kate and I watched a really cool movie the other day. I'll kind of land the plane here as we talk about it. We watched a really cool movie. It was called The Life List. It was really cute. It was on Netflix. Put a 4 in the comments if you've watched that yet. Oh, Giovanna, you watched it. Yay. Okay, cool. So we can relate on this. It's sappy and cute. Okay, not my typical war movie or like anything like that. But it was really good. This girl's mom owned a beauty company, and she had stage 4 cancer, passed away. And instead of giving her daughter her inheritance, she pulled out a vision board that her daughter made when she was a child. Okay, and this was a list of like 10 things that she was like, I want to do this when I'm older. And there's all these things were pretty attainable. They were just going to take some work. And instead of her mom leaving her inheritance, what she did is she said, I want you to, she made some videos for her daughter as she was, heading towards the end of her life. And it was so cute. Like for every goal that her daughter would cross off the list, she would send her another video. The person who managed their will would be the one that would pass out those videos. And it was really emotional because like what her mom was trying to do was, instead of saying, hey, here's millions worth of dollars worth of, from my company, here's your inheritance, go have fun. She wanted her daughter to go accomplish all of the goals that she had for herself before getting the inheritance, right? What good would it have done if she was like just coasting through life and all of a sudden her mom passes away and she's like, all right, here's a couple $1 million for you to live off of. Like, life is probably going to get worse because we all know money doesn't solve problems. Accomplishing your goals and being proud of yourself solves problems. Taking your family to a different place solves problems. So her mom had it exactly right. It was such a cool concept because she's like, hey, look, if you can accomplish everything on this list, then you can have your inheritance. And along the way, she was like, she lived in New York. She learned how to drive a car. She camped underneath the moon, underneath a full moon. She got a tattoo. She went back to teaching. She taught herself a new piano song. Like, there was all these things that were like totally attainable, but like all 10 of them, in conjunction with each other, was probably a pretty big task. So she did all 9 of these things. There's one thing left on the list, and it was find true love. Her mom didn't put a time limit on that because that would be pretty harsh. So she's like, you have until January to find true love, and that would be a very tough task. But I want you guys to, like, maybe for a couple minutes, with a sheet, like a piece of paper. Okay, we're going to focus on this business because that's what we do. I want you to write down 3 things that you want out of this business, and you're not going to share them with me or anyone else. So you can dream as big or as wild as you want to. Maybe text them to yourself if you don't have a pen and piece of paper out. But go ahead and write down 3 goals. And I'll give you like a minute and a half to do that as I talk here. Write down 3 things that you want for your agency, maybe that you want your agency to do for you and your family. As I'm talking, maybe this will help you guys, but like for me, it was time freedom. I wanted to fulfill a few dreams outside of this career that I never had time for before. Kate and I had just gotten married before I started this business, and I just met my best friend. I wanted to spend all my time with her. I wanted to, I didn't want to be stuck in an office 70 hours a week. I wanted to actually like be with my wife and like build a life with her, not just for her. I wanted to be present. We talked about having kids together. I wanted to be present for the kids and like not the dad that showed up after the game was already over because he got stuck in traffic coming home from work. Because that was how my childhood went. I always thought my dad was gonna be there at a game, show up at the very end, last couple minutes. Hey, I'm sorry I got stuck in traffic. I was at work. That was normal. Gave us a really great life, but didn't see him at a lot of my ball games. Okay. So that was for time. Like money, I wanted to make sure that Kate never had to work a day again in her life if she didn't want to. Okay. Luckily, Kate's amazing. And she loves being a present mom, and she wants to grow this business with me. So I'm very thankful for that. But I wanted to give her the option to never have to work again. Money, I wanted to be fully passive. I wanted to be able to tithe, donate, and sponsor whoever and whatever I wanted to. Okay. I talked about this vision many times because it's just one of the things on my 10-year plan. I want to buy a couple vacation homes around the country so that way I can bless families that don't get to travel or don't get to take vacations. I want to be able to bless them. I also want to host our, team events where we go in and we talk about leadership and we do masterminds together. I also want to, have time to unplug with my family at those homes, but I want a couple of them. Okay. And I've got those places picked out. They're already on my vision board. Um, I wanted freedom. I wanted to get out of the 9 to 5. I wanted to have freedom from someone else telling me how much I was worth or how much I needed to work. Um, I wanted freedom from the situation that I was in. I was not heading in a great place at my job. It was a pretty dark place. The culture there sucked, and I wanted freedom from that to build my own culture. And um, man, I wanted to become a millionaire. Come on, anybody? That I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I want to bless people with my money. I don't want to worry about how much money's in the account. I want to bless people. Okay. So 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 hopefully you've had some time to write a few things down. I just going through a few of mine. Yeah, Taya, absolutely. Um, so all right, and here's what her mom did for her too. And I'll do this for you guys. And if you got really big with it, like if you went really big, this is gonna be a really hard task. But like whatever you wrote down on your piece of paper, what if you had until January to do that? Look down at your piece of paper. What if you had until January to accomplish that? How would you move? How would you act? I know a few of you probably, yeah. Whew. Let's go, Alexandra. A few of you may have written down, I want to be an agency owner. I just just guessing. Okay. I know a lot of you want that. Maybe that was one of your three. Maybe it was totally different. I could be wrong here, but like maybe that's you. You wrote down like, I want to become a top producer. All right. Maybe it was, I want to retire my husband or I want to retire my wife so that he or she can come do this with me full time and we can really blow this up. All right. What if you had until January? Puts a sense of urgency underneath things, right? And that's why I love that movie. It's called The Life List again, if you haven't watched it. It's really, really good. But she got this list and her mom was like at the very end, she's like, oh, by the way, you have until January. And she had to start hustling to do these different things and like who she became in that process to everyone else around her. She was very inspiring because she was going after things. Like she had changed her whole outlook on life because she was excited, she was accomplishing goals, she was crossing things off the list. She was a joy to be around. She attracted the love of her life. I thought that was a pretty happy ending, right? You go and take yourself to the next level. This girl's like, love ain't for me. Yeah, Kate was crying. I was sitting there trying to hold it in. She found true love. She was attracting into her life so many good things because her output was so large. She had never really pushed for things outside of the norm. So I would ask yourself this as we close out. We got a couple minutes left here. When's the last time that you inspired somebody? When's the last time that you inspired somebody? All right. What you're building right now, what you have the opportunity to build, may be the blueprint for the people that are watching you to go out and accomplish something. Okay. A lot of us have kids, a lot of us have spouses. Um, you may be writing the blueprint for them to break free from the norm too. Okay. So just remember the people that are watching you do this. But more importantly, do it for yourself. The person you become along the way is going to be pretty cool. And so more importantly than the 100 agency owners, okay, I'll land the plane here. Way more important than that, I'm excited to see 100 people transform their lives and become different people. Just become rock solid dads and moms, brothers and sisters, friends, the type of people that I want to roll with. Okay, I'm really excited for us all to go through that journey together. So we talk about big vision, we talk about all these things like numbers. It really doesn't matter about life insurance. Okay. We get to do an awesome job. We get to serve families with life insurance. I think that's a pretty cool sales job. All right. We get to set families free financially and cover mortgages and roll over 401ks. Like, but this is not about life insurance if you haven't figured this out yet. Okay. This is about building something special, becoming a new person, becoming a new version of you. So let's all go run after that together. All right. Next 3 weeks, remember, we're doing a series you won't want to miss on how to build. We're doing phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Okay. And Kate and I are going to be giving our blueprint for building along with some of the other leaders on our team. We're going to be giving out a blueprint for like how to start ramping this thing up and building it. Okay. Remember along the way, personal production is what you need to own and focus on because that pays the bills. Okay. I need to produce enough to pay the bills and have extra to reinvest into my business. So getting good at personal production never goes by the wayside. Okay. Ashley, my upline, told me that so often when I was new. She's like, get really good at production so that you can scale this thing quicker. And I'm relevant now. I'm a top producer. I can relate with what you guys are going through. I've been told no hundreds of times. I took a lead from Adam Coughlin this morning, and the guy picked up and told me no within the first 5 seconds. Okay. I know what y'all are going through. All right. But you got to get good with that so that you can build your business and reinvest into it and really take this thing to the next level. So yeah, he said no, and he used a couple choice words. It was pretty funny. Let's build this thing together, guys. Let's let's get after it. This is momentum season right now. Like I said when we started this call, there's a lot of people running after something right now. There's a lot of people shooting after goals. Hitch a ride on their train. If they're moving, run with them. Okay. I know a lot of you are like looking to get this thing off the ground. Like, ask for a ticket. Move with them. Okay. Associate yourself with people that are moving fast. Let's have a great week. Can't wait to see you guys in the virtual office. Let's go crush it. Thanks, y'all. Love you guys.